Hey guys, welcome to Travel Feels. Today we're going to be answering the question about how do you go from a beginner with a good eye and a lot of promise to a professional who can actually make good films? How do you close that gap? What's the secret to success? In a sense, we're talking about how I got to where I am today and how you can do it too. About 6 or 7 years ago, I started filmmaking. Before that, I had zero experience. The only other experience I had was making little skate films when I was younger, but that's it. And let me tell you, my first videos were garbage. They were terrible. And it's slightly embarrassing watching them, but it's also kind of fun to see where I've come from. Now I'm working as a full-time freelance DP, making films and shooting stuff for all kinds of companies like Nike and San Pellegrino, and making travel films for tourism boards like Visit Norway and Visit Finland. I make a really decent income and I have tons of time off. But the question is, how did I get here? The key to closing that gap from beginner to professional is really simple. It's this: learn, make, repeat. That's it. It's that simple, and I think a lot of people won't even believe that it's that simple. And I'm not saying it's not a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, but it is that simple. Learn, make, and repeat. I never went to film school, but I did have the internet. And when I got interested in filmmaking, I just got this crazy motivation to just learn about everything. I was watching tutorials on how to film, how to edit, how to do motion graphics, how to color grade. Everything and anything to do with filmmaking, I was learning about it. I just wanted to learn. Speaking of learning, the good people at Skillshare have sponsored this video. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with over 15,000 classes on all sorts of stuff. Not only can you learn a ton about filmmaking on Skillshare, but really you can learn about anything you're interested in. And you can even become a teacher yourself and start making your own courses. This can be a really nice way to earn some passive income. Premium membership is super cheap at only $10 a month for unlimited access to all the courses. And even better, they're giving you 2 free months to try it out. If you want to learn more about filmmaking, nothing is stopping you. All you have to do is click that link in the description, sign up for your 2 free months, and start learning more about filmmaking. In the beginning of your career, there is nothing more important than investing in your learning, so check out Skillshare. Anyways, back to learn, make, repeat. So learning doesn't have to come just from school in the traditional ways. There's so many good resources to learn from. The internet is full of them. I didn't take a single class in film school. Everything I've learned about filmmaking is through the internet or people that I've worked with. And that brings us to the next step, which is making. Not only do you have to be constantly learning, you need to be making. Make a film, any film. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad or what people think of it. Just make something. Let's say you're trying to learn how to ride a bike. You're not gonna just be reading the manuals and looking up tutorials on how to ride a bike and checking out the bike, looking at it. You're gonna have to actually get on that bike and try it out. That's the only way you're gonna learn to ride that bike. Making reinforces everything you've learned and it teaches you a ton. Especially if you're working with other creatives, it's an amazing opportunity to learn. Every shoot I do, no matter how big or small, I treat as a learning opportunity. Make sure you're asking people questions and just thinking about the situations you're in, so you're learning and getting the maximum out of that experience. And the most important thing about making is that you'll actually progress your career. Each film you make will be a portfolio piece or an advertisement of your skills, which in theory will lead more work to you. Learn, make, repeat. You need to be continually doing this forever and ever. This doesn't stop. I actually don't like the fact that in society we've kind of divided things up. We have learning, which is school, and then we have making, which is work. We should be all the time learning and making, doing both things at the same time constantly. If you're not doing both of these, your skills will plateau and eventually you will become irrelevant. If you're learning and not making, nobody will see your skills. And if you're making and not learning, then most likely what you're making isn't very good and nobody wants to see your skills. So let's talk a little bit more about the creative gap. What I mean by the gap is going from a beginner with a good eye and knowing what's good and what's not, but your films aren't very good yet, to a professional who can actually make films that are as good as your taste is. That's the hardest part about being a creative. The journey from beginner to professional is a long one. And there's no checkpoints that tell you that you're halfway or 3/4 of the way done. And the truth is, you're never really done. There's a really good talk by Ira Glass and a video that illustrates the talk really well, talking about this gap. Go and check it out, link in the description. It's super inspiring and every creative needs to hear it. We all start out as beginners and we're not able to make those films that we think are really good. But don't give up. Everyone goes through this. Everyone. If you have a good eye, keep working at it. And if you love what you're doing, don't give up in the middle of that journey, closing that gap. That's the worst place to give up because you could be so close to closing that gap. All right, so let's take a look at one of my first films that I made about 6 years ago. It was a film that I made with my brother. I think I had just gotten the Canon 60D and we wanted to test out the Twixtor plugin, which was a plugin to make super slow motion out of 60 frames per second. So let's take a look. Unfortunately, I can't play the music because of copyright reasons. Back then, I didn't even know anything about copyright, so I don't have a license for the song, so I can't play it on here, but go and check it out in the link if you want to check out the actual video. All right, so nice intro here. This would be my brother, and this takes place in Finland in the middle of winter. And you can see we were just trying to test anything and everything that would look cool in slow motion. Or that we thought was gonna look cool at least. Some of it's not too bad, but yeah, just the composition and the edit and even the color grade is just a little bit all over the place. But I do remember that at the time I was super proud of this video and I thought that it was gonna be my ticket to success. I thought it was super good. I thought it was the best thing I had ever made, and it probably was at the time. And it even did get some traction on Vimeo, which gave me a big confidence boost, and it just made me wanna make more films. Yeah, we just basically had fun, just tested out all sorts of stuff. My brother definitely sacrificed a little bit for this film. And you can see there's no real idea to this video. We were just basically testing out the slow motion and seeing what it looks like. And if you're wondering why he's jumping into a frozen lake, it's a big part of our culture. In Finland, we go sauna and swimming all the time. That's a huge part of the culture. Even in the winter, we just cut a hole in the ice and we go swimming in the ice water. So that's it. That was one of my first films that I made, and you can clearly tell that it wasn't too good. So let's take a look now at a video that I made 6 years later, last summer, and see how that is. And again, for copyright reasons, I'm not gonna play the music, but if you wanna watch the actual video, the link is down in the description, check it out. And just as a side note, the first video I did not get paid. Nobody was paying me to make that. That was just for fun. And this video that we're now gonna watch, not only did we get to travel around for free and got to experience all sorts of cool things for a couple weeks in Norway, I actually got paid to make these films. So this was a video for Visit Norway. And right away you can see the quality is quite a bit better. Everything from the edit to the shots to the color grade, everything is looking much better. We basically just road tripped around Norway for, I think it was around 2 weeks. Me and my wife and my two friends, Rebecca and Jay. And if you haven't been to Norway, it's an amazing place. Go and check it out. Highly worth it. If you don't want to do a beach vacation, I would highly recommend Norway. It's just a really cool place. And a lot of it is so untouched still. So here we are using drones, and I'm using a camera that's way more expensive and way better than way back in the day. But even if I had that same 60D from back in the day, this video would be way better than that first one. So this is a video that I'm actually pretty proud about. Still looking back, there's definitely some things that I would change or I wish I could have done better or differently, but I really like it. I think it turned out really well, and I think it does the purpose of what it was supposed to do, which was to promote Norway. I think anybody who sees this film would definitely want to go to Norway. Whereas the first video, I don't even know what the purpose of it was really. Thinking back to that time when I made that first video, I would have never imagined that I would be making films like this and actually getting paid to do it at the same time. Never in a million years could I have imagined that I would be here. So that's it. That's 6 years later. I would say that video is a lot better than the first one, which is still a little bit embarrassing to watch. So what's the point of all this? It wasn't to brag about my skills or anything like that. It was to show that I started somewhere, that we all start out as beginners and we're not very good when we start out, but that's okay. Stick with it. If you have a good eye and if you love what you do, keep going, keep closing that gap. All you have to do is learn, make, and repeat. And you will close that gap 100%. And if you can look at a previous film and say that, oh man, that wasn't so good, that's a good thing. Take that as an encouragement. The way I look at it is if you can see that something could have been better in that film, then that means you've gotten better. If you can't see that there's anything wrong with a film or nothing that you would change, then that means you haven't gotten any better since you made that film. So take it as an encouragement. Keep making. Don't worry so much about whether it's good or bad. Just make it and put it out. Get feedback on it. Learn, make, and repeat. And this goes for all areas of life, not just filmmaking. Make sure you're learning, doing, and repeat. In any area of life, you will succeed with that formula. And to start your learning process, make sure you check out Skillshare. A class that I really liked is a class by Ryan Booth. He's an amazing, super talented cinematographer. He's done all sorts of stuff. Check that out if you want to keep learning and becoming a better filmmaker. The link for Skillshare is down in the description. Check it out. Start your free trial and start learning. I hope this inspired you and gave you a little bit more energy to keep going. Don't give up. You will get there. Guys, enjoy the filmmaking process and go get some of those travel feels.